All right. What's good, kind people? What is good? See how my audio sounds here. Audio tests. Nice and loud. 1, 2, 3. Audio tests. Yes, that is good. What's good, everybody? All right, we're going to officially start the show up in just a hot minute here. I see we're still connecting to a couple of outlets. That's all good. It's all good. It's all fine. All day, all night. Been listening to some DMX off and on during the weekend, so don't pay me no mind here. How'd you guys like Raw tonight, though? How'd you guys like Raw tonight? I have a poll up on YouTube at the Communities tab. Swing on over there, cast your vote. I also have the same poll with the same options up on our Twitter page at the RCWR show, so feel free to sound off over there as well, because I want to know what you guys thought about the show. I'll take my look-see in there in a hot minute, but you know what? Looking at that main event match, what did I tell you guys as far as the main event match of Liv Morgan taking on Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship? What did I say to you guys? There were so many people that were jumping out there and they were going, no, it's too soon. She doesn't deserve this championship match opportunity. If people weren't saying that, people were saying, no, it's too soon. I don't know why I've got some of the fans sounding like, Guilford Godfrey, why are we doing this so often? I don't understand. But, you know, we had some fans that felt, you know, why are we wasting this opportunity on a TV show when we should be doing it on a pay-per-view? But we had all different types of negative reactions to this. And, you know, look, as I had said to you guys a couple of weeks back, I said, stay calm, my pretty babies. Stay calm. What's happening right now, WWE is just going to go on ahead here and they're going to take the scenic route. That's what they're doing with Liv Morgan. Like, I told you guys, she's not going to get the championship on this night. They are just doing a nice, proper little opening act. And that all that was going to be happening was a nice little long scenic route. I said, give it some time. Everything's going to come back full circle. I do honestly believe that right now, for all intents and purposes, Liv is the next one. I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Liv is going to be the one to dethrone Becky Lynch. And we'll definitely talk a lot more about it in just a hot little bit. I can't believe I actually did somewhat of a Guilford Godfrey voice to represent some of the fans. I humbly apologize about that. That's not right, man. That's not right that I got some of you guys sounded like that. My apologies. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Mine was definitely pretty good. Nice, relaxful. I still have not done my holiday shopping yet. I'm probably going to actually get a head start on that. Probably this week for sure. Definitely this week for sure, going into the weekend. You know, I'm trying to be conservative, though. I'm not trying to do too much because I've literally got to turn right back around in January. And I got to come up out of my pocket and get ready to pay for a boatload of courses in a hot little bit. But no, my weekend was pretty good. It was nice, relaxful. I wish I could say I'm 100% healthy, but because I've been dealing with a little bit of a nagging cold. So you probably hear a little bit in my voice right now. It sounds a little bit scratchy, a little bit hoarse. Been drinking plenty of fluids, trying to do my best to stay hydrated. But I've been dealing a lot with fatigue, scratchy voice, definitely been feeling pretty tired. It's weird because I got my booster shot some weeks back, and you know, it's interesting because when I got the booster shot for the Moderna, I probably was feeling the same way I did the last two other times I got my shot. and I was probably, I would say 2 days tops, and I was just back to my normal self. But besides that, I've been feeling, knock on wood, for all of 2021, I've been feeling pretty good for the most part. So I don't know what's been going on the past couple of days. I don't know if maybe I've gotten around some Germy folks or what, but so we're going to try to do our best to see if we can have ourselves a nice little tight short show. We'll see what happens. You know, just depends on how I feel. Obviously, if I feel good enough, we'll definitely go a little bit further and everything. But yeah, hope your week's pretty good. Hope you guys have finally got the head start making your holiday shopping, you know, sooner rather than later. You don't want to be out there and doing last minute BS. I tell you what, because when you do that last minute BS, actually, bear with me a second here. This is actually important here. Let me see what's going on here. I hate when I get multiple messages here. Hang on. Okay, that's old. This is business related, so I've actually got to look into this. No, this would not apply. Sometimes when I'm live on the air, I get people that hit me up. They've heard about my services and they want to try to see if they, good God Almighty, and they want to try to see if they can tap into our audience. So they try to pitch to me their products and services. And I'm looking at something right now where somebody is talking about teaching course materials on history and language. Hey, this doesn't apply to you guys, right? All right, I'm just going to go on ahead. Hi. Sorry, this does not apply to my core audience. Give me a second here. But thanks for reaching out. All the best and happy holidays. And that'll be the end of that person. All right, and then what's the other one here? What's going on here? Yeah, we already answered that question. All right, so we're good. We're good. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to actually put my phone on mute now. But yeah, that happens. So yeah, nice Raw. I actually enjoyed the main event match for tonight. By the way, welcome. You're checking out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders for Monday night of December 6, 2021. What are we now? Like over 20-something days away until the bookend conclusion to 2021. By the way, rest in peace to Bob.
Baby.
Oh, baby. I know that sound. I love that sound. What happened just there? We got a subscriber. Cool. We got official. It disappeared. Official. Somebody just subscribed. I will pop my head in the chat and I will see if I can actually pull that up. But welcome. I saw we just got a new sub. But what was I getting ready to say? Rest in peace, Bob Dole. How about that, guys? But look, you can't feel too sorry, right? 98 years old. That is a nice, long life. That is a nice, long, richful life. And if you're like me, one of the first things that came into your mind, depending on how old you are, but if you're around my age group or just a little bit younger, one of the first things that probably came to your mind is the infamous SNL clips of Norm MacDonald doing his Bob Dole impression. And, that's just, it's just synonymous with Saturday Night Live, all things pop culture, all things entertainment. It's just, and a lot of people don't know the backstory to what led up to Bob Dole, the man himself, actually appearing on Saturday Night Live alongside Norm MacDonald. You got to rewind it back 1996-ish there, right? The guy is fresh after losing the bid for presidency. And you talk about somebody that is totally a really good sport and decides, okay, yeah, you know what? Sure, what the hell? I wouldn't mind going on Saturday Night Live and doing a little skit. Yeah, sure. And so you talk about somebody that was the ultimate pro. You want to talk about somebody that is just, Who cares what anybody might say about you? The fact that you lost and you were willing to go do this show and they're kind of a little digging here and you're being a good sport about it, like, okay, that's totally cool. And so that's one of the first things that clicked into my head when I had found out about Bob Dole's passing and everything. But how surreal is it? Just quick little thought here I want to put out there. I don't know if many of you guys marinated on it for a few ticks, but how surreal is it that here we are in 2021, and in this same year that we lost Bob Dole, we also lost Norm MacDonald, who was quietly battling a form of cancer. And he had been battling it for a couple of years. And the guy was just putting that shit to the side, trying to do everything that he could. I mean, obviously he was getting his treatments and all of that, but here was a guy that was not disclosing that information to his fan base. And all he wanted to do was just continue to go out there, tell jokes, make people laugh. Last thing he wanted to do was put that information out there. And now all of a sudden, when he does do his little routine, it's basically a sympathy tour, if you will. Right? He didn't want that. So, but how surreal is that in 2021, Norm MacDonald, Bob Dole? And it just follows up to a post I had put out there as soon as I found out the news about Bob Dole passing away. I said something along the lines of, yo, if there is such thing as the ultimate utopia, this thing called heaven, then without a doubt, Bob Dole has one of the best ultimate tour guides helping him along the way. And I basically had enclosed the picture of Norm dressed up as Bob Dole right next to the real deal. So rest in peace, Bob Dole. Bob Dole. That's just crazy, man. Crazy. By the way, I don't know if you guys have tried this, but there's a limited edition Sprite winter spiced cranberry lemon lime flavored soda. This is how it looks here. I gotta tell you, I am not impressed. Now, I just happened to see this on the table. My wife was actually doing all the drinking of it. I just saw it a couple of minutes ago, and I decided to have a little sample. I just decided to have a little sippy sip. Not impressed. I mean, extremely sugary. That's all I gotta say, extremely sugary. So let's see what you guys are saying in regards to Monday Night Raw. Again, I got two polls up, one on Twitter at the RCWR Show and another one up on our YouTube Communities tab page here. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Go on to YouTube first. Actually, let's go to Twitter first since I'm already there. Twitter, you guys are saying, wow, interesting. 40% of you are giving the show a thumbs up. While 60% of you are giving it a thumbs down. I repeat, for tonight's Raw, 40% of you are giving the show a thumbs up. Meanwhile, 60% of you are saying, no, thumbs down. Meanwhile, let's see what's going on via YouTube Communities tab here. Let's see what you guys are saying. Are you guys a little bit kinder than what's being said on Twitter? Let's see here. Yes, you are. Early votes coming in. 25% are giving tonight's show a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 75% are giving Raw a thumbs up. I actually thought overall it was a decent little show. Honestly, I thought what they did was good, especially with the main event match for the Raw Women's Championship. I thought they did pretty good. We are going to talk more about Raw in a hot minute. I promise you guys, we got a nice loaded up wrestling episode for you guys. We're going a little bit all over the place. There was some stuff that had went down over the weekend, though, that we definitely need to tackle real quick for you AEW Dark Elevation fans. Here's the matches that had played out on tonight's Elevation. Rio defeated Angelic Risk. The Nightmare Family's Brock Anderson, Dustin Rhodes, and Lee Johnson defeated the Wingmans, Cesar Bonini, J.D. Drake, and Peter Avalon. Brian Pillman Jr., it's a name we haven't seen on TNT TV programming there in several weeks there. He defeated Serpentico. The Factories, Aaron Solo, Anthony Ogogo, Nick Camarado, and QT Marshall defeated Baron Black, JD Munoz, Sean Hodrick, and Tony Vincita. Meanwhile, Awadon and Ryo Mizunami defeated Emi Sakura and the Bunny. Jurassic Express's Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus defeated Brandon Tate and Brent Tate. And the Acclaimed defeated Charlie Bravo and Sean Dean. Those were the matches that played out on tonight's AEW Dark Elevation. Also, Beyond Wrestling over the weekend. What a great weekend it was for pro wrestling, wasn't it? I mean, when you really stop and think about it, we had, if we want to get technical, Thursday, you had your Impact Wrestling, and then your Friday, you had SmackDown. Saturday, you had your NWA Hard Times 2 pay-per-view, which was accessible on Fight TV. By the way, shout out to those of you whether you checked out the Hard Times 2 pay-per-view post show that I did for On Demand or on the downloads. I do appreciate you guys that had checked that out, but we had that was going on. By the way, speedy recovery to Pope. Pope did in fact suffer a form of injury. Looks like it was a concussion. He's doing pretty good though. He pretty much did confirm it on his respective social media outlets, letting fans know he appreciated the love and support that was coming his way and that he's doing all right. He actually woke up to find a get well card, if you will, that was signed by pretty much all of the NWA talent, staff, and everything. So he's doing good though. And then Sunday we went into NXT War Games, which was pretty good. If you were really to take a step back and truly just look at it for what it's worth and not try to compare it to War Games or NXT takeover events of yesteryear, just deal with it in the form of, okay, it's essentially a new era, it's a new beginning. For what it was worth, it was actually a pretty good pay-per-view. I didn't even get a chance to rate that, by the way, but it definitely gets a thumbs up from me. I would probably give that War Games a modest, I can't go higher, I can't go lower. I would give it a 7. If you really were to pick my brain following up on what I said during the War Games post show, the length of some of the matches, definitely overkill. Trim it down. You had some sloppy spots in there where some folks were looking kind of confused, not really sure what to do and everything. A little bit of tightening up in those areas definitely would have sufficed. But all in all, I mean, you can't go wrong with a 7 out of 10. I mean, that's not really too bad. And then here we are going into tonight with Monday and all that. But there were some other wrestling events that happened over the weekend that you might have not known about, that you might have been sleeping on. For example, Beyond Wrestling over the weekend, they held their Feet Forever event out in Providence, Rhode Island. They actually had streamed this on IWTV. Here's some of the matches that had played about in the results. Pre-show, Aaron Rourke defeated Teddy Goods for the IWTV Independent World Wrestling Championship. Alex Smiley defeated Ruby Soho. Yes, I'm sure you guys probably saw, if you're following Ruby or you're following Shelly, you probably had saw a little something buzzing on social media, especially if you're following those two. You probably saw some posts, didn't really process it, but yeah, there was a intergender match that went down between these two at that event, and it was for the IWTV Independent Wrestling World Championship. Alex Shelley defeating Ruby Soho. Meanwhile, Megan Bain defeated Tasha Steeles. The Dark Order's Alex Reynolds and John Silver defeated Whatever It Takes Mark Sterling and VSK. Also, Masha Slamovich defeated Kimber Lee. This came via disqualification. Wheeler Yuta, meanwhile, got a victory over Tracy Williams. We also had a no DQ match where Ricky Shane defeated Slade. Waves and Curls. Yes, I love that name. I love that name. Waves and Curls. That is the name of a tag team. Jalen Brandon and Trayvon Jordan defeated Bear Country and the main event. The main event. Remember, M-A-N-E. Yeah, main event. Meanwhile, Willow Nightingale. I love me some Willow Nightingale. She is a cutie. I love her. She defeated Max the Impaler. I'm a little bit stunned by that. But yeah, Max the Impaler. Because see, if I could have it my way, Max the Impaler would just be on this unstoppable, undefeated type of streak that's going on, basically. That is how I pretty much would do Max the Impaler. By the way, I do see what you guys are saying in the chat. It's just all about the perfect timing when I can slide right in and mention whatever you guys are saying in the chat. So have a little patience. I'll definitely get to what you guys are saying in there. Finishing up the Beyond Wrestling card from the weekend, Alec Price defeated Blake Christian, and you had another no DQ match where Dutch defeated Dan Barry. Those were your results from Beyond Wrestling's Feet Forever event. Happened in Providence, Rhode Island. You can check it out on IW TV when you get a chance. Also, from over the weekend, AAA was busy. They did their Triplemania Regia 2021 from Monterrey, Mexico on Saturday. Here's the results of that. Now, for you AAA fans, for you Latin fans, I want to apologize in advance if I butcher any of these names. Work with a brother. I promise. I am still getting myself very familiar with the AAA promotion. And you give me about 3 months tops, and I will have the pronunciations down. I promise you. But yeah, we're definitely going to be a bit rocky off the break. La Inda Americana and Gran Mazo defeated Venocide and Ngazo. This was in a dark match. Meanwhile, Lady Maravala, La Hedra, and Lady Flamer defeated Sexy Star, Lady Shana, and Fabi Apache in a lumberjack match. Shouldn't that be a lumberjill match? It is what it is. Something that put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces, I would imagine. We got a video package presentation from Taya Valkyrie. And for many fans that loved them some AAA, definitely saw a big bulk of what Taya Valkyrie was doing in her career in the AAA promotion and everything. Well, she had this nice video presentation, you know, short and brief and everything. It just basically said she was coming back to AAA and that she wanted to fight Deonna Purrazzo for the AAA women's title. Because we know Deonna's been holding that for a hot little minute now. So the fact that Taya Valkyrie is back in, and she also, Taya that is, declared herself as a free agent and everything. And it's kind of, yeah, no shit, we know that, right? But seriously, that's good. That is very good. It's great that she's back over there. So if you were to ask me off the break, you know, not just because of Taya Valkyrie, but remember, we had covered the results of, what was it, Triplemania 29, I think, a couple of months back. And I told you guys I was definitely going to try to put it more in my repertoire of promotions to check out and everything. I'm definitely, because I'm telling you, when you just go down the list of the rest of this card that they did for Triplemania Regia, you know, there's a lot of familiar faces that's in here. Let's keep going. Conan, for example. Conan, he announced that Kenny Omega will be getting a AAA mega title shot against the winner of the vacant title once he comes back from injury. Conan also revealed that the Lucha Brothers, interesting development right there. He said that the Lucha Brothers were going to lose to FTR because that was a match that was going to happen later on in the night. And that had prompted Cybernet. See, I'm a butcher this name. I apologize in advance. Cybernetical? I don't know. I guess he's supposed to be a cyborg or something. I don't know. But on a motorcycle, and that pretty much had caused Conan to leave the ring. And he said that he would rid AAA of Conan once and for all. Meanwhile, Sanson, El Cuatro, and Forastero defeated Abismo Negro Jr., Ariz, and Psychosis, Antito Santana, Moko Kata Jr., Carter Brava. It was a #1 contenders match for the trios titles. #1 contenders match for the trios title. So again, coming from out of that, Sanson, El Corrido, and Forastero. Those are your winners of that. Sam Adonis, meanwhile, Puma King, and DMT Azul defeated Dave the Clown, Murder Clown, and Chessman. Lucha Brothers, they had vowed to win the tag team titles back and said that Vicky Guerrero, who ended up managing FTR, is going to learn a thing or two about respect. This had prompted Vicky Guerrero and FTR to come out, and they forced announcer Hugo Savinich to translate their insults towards the crowd from English to Spanish. And this had led to a nice little pull apart between FTR and the Lucha Brothers. As far as how their tag match had went, FTR defeated the Lucha Brothers in a ladder match to retain their tag titles. So still the AAA tag team champions, FTR. I would imagine there's going to be a little bit of a fallout from that going into AEW Dynamite and Rampage of this week. I would imagine there's going to be some type of a nod there since Triplemania since AAA and AEW have a nice buddy chum relationship. I'd imagine there's going to be some type of a rub off there of a mention or two of what all had came about from this event on this week's programming. So FYI. Meanwhile, Cain Velasquez, Psycho Clown, and Pagano defeated Rey, Scorpion, Taurus, and LA Park. Dragon Lee and Dralistico defeated Laredo Kid and Willie Mack. Of all the, and I've seen a little bit of clips here and there, the stuff that Willie Mack was doing in that tag match. I mean, Willie Mack was over as fuck with the fans. So if you're a big fan of Willie Mack, you may want to actually see if you can check this out when you get a chance. But the little bit that I saw, yeah, this actually was a pretty good tag match, a little bit that I saw. Cain Velasquez, we talked about that one. Hero del Vikingo defeated Bobby Fish, Jay Lethal, Samurai del Sol, and Bandito to win the AAA Mega title. So those were pretty much a lot of the main stuff that had went down during the weekend. Like I said, it wasn't just NWA. It wasn't just WWE. There was some other cool stuff that was going on there. There was also some WWE live events that had played about as well. This kind of segues to Jeff Hardy, which we'll talk about in a hot second. But WWE, they held a live event out in Corpus Christi, Texas, with the Bloodline taking part in a 6-man tag match main event. Here's the card for that. Again, this was in Corpus Christi, Texas. You had Miz TV with RK Bro. They were interrupted by the Dirty Dogs. RK Bro would then go on to defeat the Dirty Dogs. You also had Seth Rollins in action. He picked up a victory over Finn Balor for the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Charlotte Flair defeated Sasha Banks. Happy Corbin, meanwhile, defeated Rick Boogs. WWE RAW Women's Championship match, Becky Lynch defended her title successfully against Bianca Belair. Meanwhile, King Woods, Drew McIntyre, and Rey Mysterio defeated the Bloodlines, Roman Reigns, Jimmy and Jey Uso. Now, this ties into Jeff Hardy. Let's talk about Jeff Hardy here. Jeff Hardy has a lot of wrestling fans concerned. I'm here to basically give it to you as unbiased, truly as neutral, and try to have you guys walk away as open-minded as much as humanly possible, because a lot of people are going to be, what's the new terminology that you guys like to use now? Chasing clout. Okay, you're going to be, if you haven't seen it already, there's a lot of people that are chasing clout with this Jeff Hardy story. They're using this as an opportunity to bring up past transgressions. They're using this as an opportunity to assume the worst and are running with that rather than letting the facts play out, rather than waiting to see if the man himself will open his mouth and comment on what exactly is going on here. Now, I wish I could give credit to the wrestling fan that was in attendance, but basically, Jeff Hardy was sent home from a WWE live event over the weekend. And this event, this was not at the live event in Corpus Christi, Texas. Not that one. It wasn't at that one. It was another event. I don't know what that other event was, but the match that you see with Jeff Hardy, it involved Jeff Hardy. I'm trying to think who he was teaming up with. I know Drew McIntyre was in there. I can't remember who the third person was on Jeff Hardy's team, unfortunately, but they were fighting the Bloodline. That much I do remember. And this fan footage ran about over 10 minutes. I think it was 10 minutes and 36 seconds long. And as you're watching it, you're keeping in mind basically, okay, something odd's happening here with Jeff Hardy. Not really sure what, but something's kind of, and from what I watched, it felt a lot more than just, okay, we're just dragging this out. We're just dragging this out until eventually there can be that hot tag, right? We're just dragging it out. It felt beyond that. It felt as though there was something weird going on and that all parties involved, including the referee, was trying to kill a little bit of time. You know what? Xavier Woods. It came back to me now. I remember Xavier Woods. It was Xavier Woods, Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy taking on Roman Reigns and the Usos. I told you, sometimes my brain just works like that. But you're watching this, and as Jeff is in there, and he's just continuing to get the assault, and you're just like, what is going on with Jeff? Is he all right? Now, he was responding. Like, whenever he was being hit, he was responding. There was no delay whatsoever. And, after a while, you're just looking at Jeff and you're just going, okay, like, seriously, what exactly? And I wish I could show you guys the footage. I would gladly show you guys the footage. Here's the problem. And look, you guys got to be on point. This is a fair warning to you all. Any of you guys from here on out that decide you want to go to a WWE live event, and if there's something weird that is going on with said superstar, or there's some type of an incident, you guys need to be prepared. If you try to upload that footage on YouTube, WWE, they will, because they've got their group of people that are basically looking for certain things. Your shit will get flagged and your account will be in trouble. I've had a couple of people reach out to me in private messages, and I've gone back and forth with, remember the stuff that went down with Seth Rollins a couple of weeks back. What was it, like 2 weeks ago? Remember that? Well, said people that called themselves uploading that footage, doing nothing more than trying to share it with their fan base or whatever, or just share it with fellow wrestling fans, they got in trouble with YouTube. Whether because it's an ongoing investigation, I don't know. I don't care personally, but just kind of know that in the back of your head that, you know, you could get your account in trouble. I think as far as just anything that's not an incident, anything that's not, you feel me? You should be okay. But if it were me personally, I would just upload that shit on your personal, I don't know what the rules and regulations are for TikTok, but if that shit is okay on TikTok, put it on TikTok, put it on your personal Facebook page, you know, shit like that. Just avoid YouTube altogether, just so you can avoid the freaking headache. So eventually Jeff Hardy makes the hot tag. He eventually makes the hot tag to Drew McIntyre. And you immediately see Jeff Hardy. He doesn't do the traditional, okay, now that I'm out, I'm just going to go on ahead, talk to the WWE medical personnel, and we're going to get me to the back of the gorilla position, and they're going to check me out. No. Instead, as soon as Jeff Hardy makes the tag to Drew McIntyre, we see Jeff Hardy. He pretty much rolls out of the ring. You know, he did seem a little bit sluggish, the way his body language was. I don't know if there was some type of a mobility issue. I'm not here to speculate on that. You know, if you want to just, because I'm usually pretty good at reading people, like, no shit, when you watch this, you're definitely saying something's not right here with Jeff. What's going on? But what's fact is he rolls out of the ring. Rather than take the traditional way to go to the back, he instead hops over a wall barrier through the fans, and he pretty much rolls out through the fans. And you have WWE personnel that are immediately going behind him. There's like this big, tall, you know, dark-skinned, bald-headed brother that's immediately going right after Jeff Hardy, you know, I guess trying to make sure the crowd's not messing with him and all that. And pretty much stemming from that, Jeff Hardy has pretty much been sent home. So whatever other shows he was supposed to be doing during the weekend, no mas. To the point, his replacement, Rey Mysterio. So as you noticed earlier, one of the events that we talked about that had Rey Mysterio in it, that it wasn't that was one of them, but it wasn't the one. You understand what I'm saying? Instead, the incident involving Jeff Hardy, it was with another event that had transpired over the weekend. Look, I recently had watched the Jeff Hardy Broken Skull Sessions episode, and I believe as early as last week, I had said to you guys, hey, if you didn't get a chance to check it out, check it out. And I loved the episode. I loved it because by the end of it, I just couldn't help but really root for Jeff Hardy. I couldn't help but say, man, all these trials, all these tribulations that you have been put through time and time again, and somehow you've always been able to not only see the error of your ways, but you've been able to bounce back and continue to persevere. And I just love the fact that, you know, he knows that there's a lot more on the line right now. You know, he's got kids to think about. He's got his wife to think about. And, you know, if I had one little, you know, it's the fact that when Steve Austin, and anybody that watched this interview knows exactly what I'm talking about. There was a few times there where Steve Austin kind of felt as though maybe, he saw the opening. He went there hoping that Jeff Hardy would expand on it a lot more. For instance, 2011 Victory Road there with Sting. Was it 2011 or 2012? It's either 2011 or 2012 with Victory Road, the Sting incident. The infamous Jeff Hardy incident where he's showing up freaking loaded. There was opportunity there where Steve Austin, was trying to get into the head of Jeff Hardy, figure out where his head was at. at that time. You know, how was it even possible for him to go down such a weird rabbit hole there? And Jeff Hardy only went but so far. And what I mean by that, to expand on the thought, it pretty much was, yeah, you know, I was in a really messed up place, but you know, I came out of it, and you know, it's a learning experience. It was kind of like one of those blanket answers. I see some of you guys are saying it was 2011, 2012, but you know exactly the event I'm talking about. That's the important thing. So it was incidents like that. Incidents like, okay, what led to your first release from WWE? Okay, well, then this most recent incident that happened, like every time Steve Austin opened the doors and tried to give Jeff Hardy an opportunity to just pour it all out there, you felt that there was a little bit of resistance. But the one thing that was consistent was Jeff basically, you know, human error, trial and error, basically. You know, he's learning as he goes. And it was kind of one of those, you know, hey, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. You know, I'm continuing to make mistakes, but I'm learning from them. And by the time you get done watching it, you just couldn't help but say, well, you know what, Jeff Hardy, God bless you, right? Like, seriously, bless you, pulling for you. Right? Pulling for you, pulling for your kids, pulling for your wife, pulling for your whole family. Continue to kick these demons in the ass. Right down to the point, he talks about how he's not really one to bring up ideas. He's not really one to pitch ideas. His brother Matt is the one that does all of that stuff. He's just pretty much tagging along for the ride. But he talks about how anytime he gets a really cool idea, his soundboard is Michael P.S. Hayes, and he usually bounces ideas off of him. And I guess P.S. Hayes maybe goes to Vince McMahon, doop, 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 doop. Hey, wouldn't it be great if we, right? So I guess maybe he does it like that. But one thing that was really, oh, well, that would be interesting, was Jeff Hardy saying he would like to be involved in a major program with Roman Reigns and for the championship. And he went further into saying that he feels he has one last big hoorah of a championship run in him. You know, so again, by the time you get done, like, you just can't help but really root for this guy. And then seeing the stuff that came out from this weekend, look, it's not fair to jump to conclusions. It's just not. It's just not. We don't know. There's so many, you know what I'm saying? Did he accidentally take some prescription that he wasn't supposed to take? Did he mix it up with something? Did he eat something that was kind of, you feel me? We don't know. We don't know. And so all the people that are running around with their fancy little headlines chasing clout, and they're trying to do this whole, oh, Jeff freaking fell off the horse again. Jeff off the wagon again. Jeff has relapsed again. Like, these are people that are just prematurely assuming off of a video footage from over the weekend. And that just is not fair whatsoever. We got to just let this shit play out. When WWE and or Jeff Hardy has additional comments to make in regards to this incident, then obviously we're going to know about it. But until then, I think anybody that is truly a fan of Jeff Hardy, and they mean well by Jeff Hardy, the best thing that you can do right now, even to those that supposedly call themselves wrestling journalists, they're members of the media, you know, and all of that, the best thing that everybody can do right now is simple. Just say, hey, not really sure what's going on with Jeff Hardy, but that footage, little concern, whatever's going on, hope Jeff gets better. Jeff, thinking about you, homie. Thinking about you as we go into the Christmas holiday. Hope you're doing all right. We're here for you, brother. That's the best thing collectively as a wrestling community that we can do right now. It's send nothing but positivity towards Jeff Hardy's way. If you can't be about that, then my biggest piece of advice to you would be just turn a blind eye. Don't even think anything about what's going on with Jeff. Just move on to other stuff. But yeah, it was quite sickening to see some of the headlines that were going on, even some of the YouTubers that were, Jeff Hardy fucked up again, Jeff Hardy on drugs again, all this other. And it's like, wow, we're basing this off of a fucking video clip. Look. Don't get me wrong. If it turns out that is the case, and WWE puts out a statement, and or Jeff Hardy puts out a statement, this isn't one of those, got you, I told. No. What you did was prematurely come to a conclusion without any proper sufficient evidence to back up that claim. What you're doing is speculation, right? You're just guessing, right? I'm not down with that. Now, if it turns out some weird shit did come about and WWE and Jeff Hardy, they put it out there, then obviously we're going to have a serious discussion then. But for now, there's a whole lot of stuff that is still in the air. So we really shouldn't be jumping out there. So be leery of some of the stuff that you see out there on social media and on some of your favorite websites in the next coming days. All right? Just FYI. And remember what I said earlier about WWE footage that you're trying to share on your YouTube account. I don't want you guys getting in trouble, okay? Other than that, yeah, weekend pretty relatively quiet. Big Time Wrestling, they announced that there is going to be a match between FTR and the Rock and Roll Express for their event that's going to be happening on January 22nd. This actually will be the first time ever that the two teams have had a match. And yes, if you heard me correctly, if you're going, wait, Lee, did you just say the Rock and Roll Express are going to wrestle FTR? Yes, I did. Big time event. If you guys are interested, you can check out btwtickets.com for more information. There's a couple of shows that they are actually doing, in January. There's one show, I think, on the 21st, and then another show that they're doing on the 22nd. They're both going to be, one's going to be in North Carolina. The other one's going to be in South Carolina. The one on the 21st, Friday, January 21st. Card's looking pretty good so far. They've got Jerry Lawler in action against C.W. Anderson. Lex Luger is supposed to be in attendance. Magnum TA is supposed to be there. Rock and Roll Express, both guys are going to be there. Autograph signing, whole 9 yards. They're going to be doing photo ops and autographs from 6:30 p.m. until 8 p.m. Bell time will be at 8 p.m. So that's going down Friday, January 21st. And then on Saturday, January 22nd, as I just mentioned, in South Carolina, FTR taking on the Rock and Roll Express. Then you've got Jerry the King Lawler. He'll be going up against George South. Matt Hardy is also going to be making an appearance. Scotty 2 Hotty as well. Brock and Arn Anderson will be in the house as well. Luger, Magnum TA, they'll be in the house as well. So looks pretty good. So I will definitely, as the event gets closer, if when more names are dropped, I'll definitely let you guys know about it. But if you're going to be in the North Carolina or South Carolina area, definitely get on top of that. You can get tickets right now, and the tickets are pretty damn affordable. I'm actually looking at it right now. For those of you that's curious about the venue, the one in North Carolina is going to be at the East Rowan High School at 175 Luke's Church Road, Salisbury, North Carolina. And the tickets for that are going for, you can't beat that. If you want front row, front row, $50. If you want ringside rows 2, 3, and 4, $30. General admission, $20. So you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. And I would imagine that's pretty much going to be the same prices for the South Carolina show as well. So again, you all are interested, you're going to be in the area, you got some family friends in the area, pass that info along to them, have them go to btwtickets.com. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Raw. We won't do a full-blown recap and review. Poking my head in the chat here. Anthony, RCWR, it seems like Vince is starting to get bored. He's just recycling an all storyline that he did with Miz and Maurice with Cena and Nikki. Okay. I'm not sure what exactly the storyline we're talking about here. Which storyline are we talking about? Seems like Vince is starting to get bored. He's just recycling in all storylines that he did with Miz and Maurice, with Cena and Nikki. Are we talking about what played out tonight between Miz and Edge? Is that what we're talking about? I mean, because for me personally, to each its own, but for me personally, to see Edge and Miz involved in a program with each other, I liked what they did last week. I thought for an opening act, what they did was pretty good. And then to hear the news that they were doing a Miz TV segment tonight and Edge was going to be there, I got to be honest, I was not expecting Edge to be in the house. I thought maybe Miz was going to have some type of a fake me out Edge come to Miz TV, but to see that it was the actual real deal, I'm going, oh, okay, so where are we going here with this? If anything, I personally feel that we've gone to the well too many times with Miz basically saying, oh, you didn't give a damn about me. Remember when I was just starting off, I was fresh off of my hit TV show, The Real World, and you all wouldn't give me the time or day. We've heard Miz mention that before, right? So while maybe you and other people were kind of having flashbacks to other stuff, my mind is just automatically dismissing this first little bit of what Miz is saying, because like, dude, we've heard you go to the well too many times on this. What else you got besides this, right? And so for me, I thought what they did tonight, it was okay. It wasn't as good as what they did last week. Personally, I liked last week a lot more. Remember when you guys had said to me a couple of weeks ago, Lee, man, I fear that MJF and CM Punk, they blew their whole load and they aren't going to be able to give us anything else. And I said to you guys, nah, just wait. These are two of the very best. Nah, they got a lot more where that came from. And boy, you talk about a disappointment that came about from last week. I mean, all that was basically left was MJF bringing up CM Punk's dog. I mean, that pretty much was all that was left. Like, there's nothing else. Like, there's no other stone that you can freaking, not unless we're going to go the whole CM Punk burning friends like Colt Cabana, not unless we're going to be going for those kind of burns, really digging down deep or whatever. But, once we saw what happened with that big epic 20-minute promo, the very next go round, wet fart, really. I mean, it was nice. It had some nice moments. It had some but, if you really just take a step back, strip it for what it was worth, really wasn't enough substance. So when I look at what went down with Edge and Miz tonight, really not enough substance for me. And in regards to the whole, okay, so eventually we're probably going to see Miz and Maurice, Edge, and Beth Phoenix. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm actually of the majority that actually wouldn't mind saying, matter of fact, as early as, if not last week, the week before, I said, now that we got Maurice back, hey, it'd be kind of nice. Yeah, why not? Let's go there. Let's go there with Maurice, Miz, Edge, Beth Phoenix. Why not? Why not? Sure. What went down with, and look, not for nothing, but I don't remember hearing a bunch of people complain about the Cena, Nikki, Miz, and Maurice. I don't remember seeing a bunch of people. Matter of fact, on the contrary, I remember a lot of people were eating that shit up. They loved the personal digs. They loved the mocking, particularly that Miz and Maurice were doing of Nikki and Cena. Some pretty gold shit back then. So if they are going to be going down a path where, okay, well, let's borrow from that, and maybe somewhere down the road, let's see what happens when we can do Miz and Maurice taking on Edge and Beth. My whole thing is, okay, I'm down for it. But what are we going to do that's going to make it stand out in a way where fans are not going to be saying, okay, yeah, but that wasn't as good as what they did with Cena and Nikki. Let's do it in a way where we're not comparing. That's going to be the key. But I'm totally down with ultimately, if they do decide they want to go in that intergender tag match route, my whole thing is, yo, it's still early. WrestleMania still, a little ways away. Let's see what's going to be happening right here. For now, though, all intents and purposes, based off what we saw tonight, Miz has challenged, or rather Edge has challenged Miz to a match at day one. And it pretty much was accepted. So we're going to be seeing those two get it on at day one. Should be a good match. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm legit, no bullshit. I'm legit looking forward to it. And at this point, I think right now, no more shared segments between these two men. No more. I think from here on now, for the next couple of weeks, now you just need to have these guys separate. Let them cut their little individual promos, do some burning or whatever, get a couple of W's under their belt. Maybe have Edge make a rare Monday Night Raw in-ring appearance, match-wise. And then maybe the final Raw of December, you let these guys do have a nice little pull-apart or whatever, pretty much go into your pay-per-view or whatever, But, I mean, yeah, that's what... see what else we got here. Then we're still talking about Raw. I'm just mixing it in with some of you guys' questions here. You guys are gonna let Anthony have all the fun, by the way. I see we're like in the double digits of people that's live right now, and you all are letting... I know we got lurkers. Usually the lurkers like to kick back and they just like to enjoy the show. But you're really gonna let Anthony have all the fun with some of his questions and all that in the chat. Come on now. Y'all need to be better than that. Shout out to JTH about the third person being Xavier Woods, and it was 2012 I was thinking of as far as TNA, No Surrender. Let's see what else we got here. Do I see anybody signing all four members of Shane Taylor Promotions at the same time, or do they send them separately? Shane Taylor, I'm sorry, you kind of giving me what are we talking about? What promotion are we talking about here? Shane Taylor. What are we talking about here? Are we talking wrestling? Are we talking what are we talking about here? Because you're kind of confusing me here. Shane Taylor of Ring of Honor is what we're talking about. Let me tell you something in regards to Ring of Honor, and this is the God's the honest truth. And I hate to burst this bubble. There used to be a time we would talk about Ring of Honor on a weekly basis, especially in the earlier years of the show. And this isn't long or drawn out, but y'all just stay with me for a second. When you only have about 5 people, 5 of your listeners, that give a damn about the talk of Ring of Honor, and then when you do an experiment to see what happens if you just do a show that's dedicated to just the talk of Ring of Honor, and you're looking at the downloads, and you only get like 2 downloads, 4 downloads. You know, that's sadly, nah, you know? So that combined with the TV syndication deal that's going on currently with Ring of Honor and all that, look, the more wrestling promotions that are out there, I've said this for years, the better. It means that there's more of an opportunity for men and women to hone their craft, right? Okay, WWE's booked right now. They ain't going to be returning your calls. AEW's, okay, well, you got Impact. You got more promotions, the better, I always say, right? So to see what's going on with Ring of Honor right now, it's unfortunate. But I got to be honest with you. I tried watching Ring of Honor, and longtime listeners know this. I tried watching the Ring of Honor product during the pandemic, and of all the promotions that were struggling during the pandemic, they struggled the most. Even after things started getting better, vaccinations and all of that, they were still struggling. And it's gotten to the point right now where they are going to rebrand themselves. They're going to re-envision themselves. Hey, I'm rooting for nothing but success, because I want for all the men and women that are not able to get into New Japan right now, WWE, AEW, I want them to have that other option. I really, really do. But Ring of Honor is sadly a promotion that I fell out of love with a long time ago. So I am not the person to be asking about Ring of Honor questions to. I only know, but just based off what I saw during the pandemic, I only know about those that I'm actually interested in. Jonathan Gresham, Max the Impaler, Dalton Castle, Bandito, Briscoes, Jay Lethal, The Allure. I got to actually look at the roster, but there's only like a handful of people that I'm remotely like, yeah, these guys are actually pretty good. And that's pretty much it. So I'm not the Ring of Honor expert. I'm not. I will definitely show Ring of Honor a lot of love, though, as things get closer with their respective promotion for the pay-per-view, their last pay-per-view that they're going to be doing. I'll definitely show them love, putting that pay-per-view over and everything. Will I be watching that pay-per-view? No, I won't. I got to follow the metrics. I got to follow where the audience's pulse is. And sadly, the majority of our followers, our subscribers, those that represent, whether they're checking out the video version of the show or they're checking out the audio version on demand and on the downloads, I can actually see where people stop listening, where they're picking up, all that stuff. I got to go to where the pulse is. And the pulse right now, it's not on Ring of Honor. So hope that answers your question. We'll get into a little bit more of what's being said in the chat in a little bit. Getting back to Monday Night Raw. Not every day we give Ring of Honor that much love. We gave them, a lot of time right there just now. So I appreciate you guys that hung out with me there. You rode that out. But getting back to Monday Night Raw for tonight. So yeah, we talked about the Miz Edge segment that went down. You know what was also pretty good? The steel cage match between Kevin Owens and Big E. That actually was a pretty good steel cage match. I gotta respectfully give it up to both men. I'm just continuing to like the work that Big E has been putting in since he's become the WWE champion. I mean, he's really going out there and he's busting his ass. He's putting out some of his best work right now. Seriously, he's putting out some of his best work right now. And I couldn't be any more prouder of him. I went into this steel cage match tonight just under the impression, we're just going to get a typical little steel cage. Ain't really nothing too much is going to be going down here. It's going to be a little bit, so-so or whatever. But no, it was actually a pretty great steel cage match. The boys went about 20 minutes, give or take. And Owens and Big E, for what it was worth during that time, they went all out there. They went all balls out, as far as I was concerned. One of the better steel cage matches I've seen on a TV show. I want to make sure I stress that. Because I don't want people twisting my words. One of the better steel cage matches I've seen on a TV show in recent memory. Definitely for WWE. You definitely had some realistic spots, or at least it felt like realistic spots that came about in this match. That was pretty good. So I enjoyed it for what it was worth. Big E not able to celebrate that long when all of a sudden Seth Rollins attacks him from behind. Steel cage is starting to rise. Seth, he's foaming at the mouth. He's ready to get in some more lickings in there. He enters the ring, beats down on Owens. Next thing you know, Big E comes back with the nice little rebound, and he takes out Seth Rollins, does a belly-to-belly on Seth. Then he does a big ending to Kevin Owens. Then we do this odd commercial break. It was kind of weird. We go into an odd commercial break. Big E is still struggling to get out of the ring. And next thing you know, we see Bobby Lashley. Apparently, Bobby Lashley came out during the break, and he beat the crap out of Big E. So, yeah, I thought that was kind of weird how they did that, because we go to the commercial break, but then we come back and we still see Big E struggling. We're going, wait a minute, we just saw you lay out Seth. We just saw you lay out Owens. Why are you struggling? And then we see that it was because Lashley came into that bad boy. And so I love this trifecta drama that we have got going on with Big E and that WWE championship of his, right? I mean, you pretty much now get the general idea of what's going on here with Big E as champion. It is right now the designated responsibility / duties of Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Lashley to help further elevate the status of Big E as a WWE champion. And I agree with what some of my colleagues are putting out there in regards to Big E. Look, great in the ring, definitely. Oozing with the personality, definitely oozing with the personality. But there is something, I agree, there is something, you can't quite put your finger on it. There's something that is missing. There's like that one ingredient. You're in the kitchen, right? You're making a nice, good dish and everything, it tastes great. It's nice, it's fresh and everything, but you're missing that one ingredient. What it could be. Could it be the paprika? Could it be thyme? Could it be chives? Could it be you need some oregano? You're missing just that one ingredient that's going to make it. And Big E is missing that one ingredient. And that's the thing. It's on the tip of our tongues. We just can't figure out what it is. But maybe it will come about as a result of what's going on with all three of these men that he's working with. So I really like what's going on right there with Big E in the picture right now. What else happened from Raw tonight? That was pretty good. For what it was worth, you know what? The Bro Mania tournament, I think that's what it was called. RK Bro Mania tournament. Street Profits getting a victory over AJ Styles and Omos via countout after Omos tagged himself in. AJ Styles was looking to end the match. He was looking for the phenomenal forearm on Montez Ford. when Omos decided to tag himself in, AJ wasn't exactly a fan of that. But then the other Street Profit guy was beating up on AJ. Somehow Omos and I think Ford, they end up going outside the ring, or maybe it was Omos trying to help out AJ. Ford was still in the ring, definitely that much I remember. You got AJ telling Omos, yo, you got to get back into the ring. They're getting ready to count us out. By the time Omos realized what was going on, they already got disqualified. Post-match, Omos looking pretty pissed about what all had came about. AJ, you kind of hear a little something he was putting out there saying to Omos, you got to listen to me. This is how this team works. We're a team, remember? You know, we're going to continue to be successful as long as you continue to listen to me. Omos didn't take too kindly to that, especially when AJ had his hand on Omos's chest. So we sadly, and I'm saying sadly because I actually don't want to see the end of Omos and AJ just yet. I still feel that there's a lot more in the pipeline there for those guys. I appreciate the fact that we've gotten little teases here and there over these past couple of months, but this has felt like the hardest 180 that we're doing with these guys, and I'm not exactly a fan of that. I think they're better together. I mean, look, obviously AJ, tag team, solo act, he's going to crush it. But I've actually enjoyed more what's been happening between he and Omos. So to see that we're looking at the beginning of the end here, yeah, it's a little bit disappointing, I would have to say. Really, what a stupid way to end the match, too, I personally felt, right? You're doing this Bro-Mania tournament thing, and we pretty much just ended on the count out. I mean, was it kind of stupid the way that it ended? Yeah, but the main story that you're looking at here is Omos, AJ, ultimate demise. That's really the big selling point right here. And then not to mention who's going to ultimately move forward to become contenders to face Randy Orton and Matt Riddle for their Raw tag titles. I like the nice throwback jackets that they were pushing tonight on Raw, by the way. I didn't mention it openly on social media, but shout out to my podcasting brother in arms in DT, because, you know, I thought the jackets looked familiar. I just wasn't sure exactly where it was. And it was actually DT that had brought it up, Howard Cosell. And it was like, yeah. It's like, that is the right. And one of my fondest memories of Howard Cosell, it actually has nothing to do with his play calling. Has nothing to do with that. It actually, two things come to mind when I think about Howard Cosell. One, and I've seen this, you know, I've seen this basically play out online, and or was talking with friends and family. But what first came was friends and family that pretty much got me caught up to speed and everything on, you know, what all had happened. But the first thing that comes into mind is the death of John Lennon. I was born just a couple of weeks before John Lennon was killed. And so I remember from some of my family members, mainly my uncle, my dad, my grandpa, you know, they were big football fans. So they remember particularly the football game that was on. And Howard Cosell had the unfortunate task of breaking the news that John Lennon had been shot and killed pretty much in front of his apartment complex, and he was raced to the hospital, and he pretty much was dead on arrival and all that. So that's one of my earliest memories of Howard Cosell, believe it or not. And this is secondhand account, hearing it from family members and everything. But then the other memory that comes into my mind actually has to do with The Odd Couple. And I'm a big fan of The Odd Couple. I didn't care for the new stuff that they put out there with, I think, Matthew Perry, and I didn't care about that. No. And what they tried to do with a black version of The Odd Couple from the 80s, I think they called it The New Odd Couple. That one was just, that was very rough. It was extremely rough. Very, very rough. You want to watch something and just go, yeah, that's pretty cringe, dog. Look up The New Odd Couple from the 80s. You won't thank me. You'll just say, thanks for fucking up my memory, Lee. But the original Odd Couple TV show there from the 70s. I remember there was an episode, infamous episode, where Howard Cosell had appeared, and Oscar, I can't remember if it might have been the same episode. I don't know if it was the episode where, I seem to remember there was a little boy involved and he took a liking to Oscar. I don't know if it was that same episode, but I remember Oscar was pretty salty about Cosell because they got some beef or some things that Oscar didn't like that Cosell said, and he just thinks he's stuck up or whatever. So they somehow end up going to a baseball game. It was either a baseball game or a football game, one of those two. And Cosell went on ahead and just put Oscar live on the air. And Oscar was just struggling like a mofo. It was freaking hilarious. And somehow Felix, I remember Felix being an instigator during that. But yeah, I had all of those memories clicking in my head as I was watching those retro jackets, Monday Night Football jackets that Matt Riddle and Randy Orton were wearing there. Right. So pretty fun. You know, sometimes I'm able to live vicariously through friends, family members, you know, and in this case, the connection to the 70s and all that. It's like, yeah, definitely, you know, grandparents, parents, right? Give me that. I can get back into what it was like for them and everything. So I liked it. It was a nice little throwback that they had. Even had the nice little cool earpiece going on and everything. It was pretty badass. So we saw that tag team advance in the Street Profits. The Alpha Academy, they lost to Rey and Dominic Mysterio. So next week in the finals, Street Profits, Mysterios, winner of that, will go on to face the current Raw Tag Team Champion. Should be pretty good. If you guys been enjoying yourself so far, by the way, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit that like button. When you do that, you really help spread the word about our content, especially as far as recommendations go. Really does wonders. And you can do just like what Anthony did earlier there and subscribe so you don't miss out on all future content. Make sure you hit that bell as well. When you hit that bell and select all notifications, you'll know about every single thing that's coming your way there. Get a nice little shout out too when you do all that good stuff as well. Some other little tidbits from Raw tonight. You know, for what it was worth, the Bianca Belair taking on Piper Nevins, that was actually a pretty good match. But I mean, we gotta tread lightly here because we have one match that ends on a countout. We just talked about it. But now we go into another match that ends on a goddamn countout between Doudrop and Bianca Belair. And I enjoyed this match. I thought this match was just, I'm not saying 5 stars or anything like that, but you know, these girls went damn near about 15 minutes, almost. And it was pretty good. And I love how when we got into the closing moments of this matchup here, Piper tried to go for, or sorry, I keep calling her Piper, Piper Nevin / Doudrop, but Doudrop tried to go for her trademark cannonball on Bianca Belair while Bianca was in the corner. Bianca moved just in time, and so freaking Dewdrop is bent crazy like a freaking pretzel. Bianca lifts Piper, and she's trying to go for her KOD, but somehow Piper manages to roll off of her, roll to the outside, and she just calmly walks up the stage ramp. And you've got Bianca Belair that's just standing there the whole time, and she's just, and it's like, no, run your ass out of the ring, go attack her from behind or whatever, drag her ass back into the ring. Like, y'all been having this thing for a couple of, why are you just gonna sit there in the middle of the ring? I just thought that was booked rather crappy, but you got Dewdrop that just pretty much settles for a count out, looks back at Bianca, smacks her ass like Bianca likes to slap her ass, and just pretty much walks off. That was just not good. Not good. So, yeah, I definitely was not a fan of that. Not a fan of that whatsoever. Damian Priest was in action. He had an open challenge match for his United States Championship. He met up with Robert Roode, as Roode was the one that accepted the challenge. Pretty rough to watch majority, but towards the end, the ending was relatively strong, so I'll definitely give it up for the ending. Ending was pretty strong. Besides that, let's see what else. Finn Balor and T-Bar. Balor going over. For me, the real MVP. Of this Finn Balor versus T-Bar match was the cute-looking white woman with the red hair. Now, if you guys did not watch Raw yet, you gotta peep this. And as a matter of fact, see, I can't show the footage. I can't show because what I recorded was actual footage. But I wonder if I can do a screen share where I can just do a screenshot. Well, I'm not going to do that. So what I will say, go out of your way. If you got it on your DVR, then you're good to go. Otherwise, see if you could find it online. You should be able to. But what was funny was you had this white woman with red hair after she saw Finn Balor picked up the victory. She is just looking at Finn Balor with such conviction. Like one of my favorite Soundgarden songs from back in the day. I wanna fuck you. That's actually the name of the lyrics, at least, of a Soundgarden song. And she's just looking at him with such fuckery conviction. I mean, she is looking at him like, and I don't know what the hell she's saying, but like she's mouthing off something like, I'm gonna fuck you up. I mean, she's looking at him like a fucking slab of meat. Okay, you gotta peep that out. For me, that was the real MVP. Was that damn redhead chick, man. That I was dying with tears, man. Dying with tears. Matter of fact, if you go on my Twitter page, at the RCWR show, you can actually see. Hang on a second, because I'm pretty sure I shared it on Twitter. Yeah. If you go on Twitter at the RCWR show, you can actually see the scene that I had posted with the chick. I mean, she is just with a passion. I love that. Below average match, though, between T-Bar, Finn Balor. Other than that, we saw a cameo there by the new 24/7 champion and Dana Brooke. Really nothing much that was going on there. Pretty much Regia doing his little fucking back flippity flop flop, saying she's got some good moves of her own. Whoopie-doo. And that pretty much was it. Dana Brooke pretty much catch Lucky and his box of Lucky Charms. Tamina, a few other people were chasing after her. Reggie's looking on, thinking, I don't know, maybe he's got a shot at Dana Brooke. I guess this is a new love story angle that's gonna maybe develop here between Reggie and Dana. And then it's kind of maybe one of those, all right, is Reggie really interested in Dana? Or is he just really interested in getting back that 24/7 championship? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, Raw Women's Championship match. Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch. Yeah, I pretty much had opened up talking about this briefly here. But this was a good main event match. Honestly, good main event match. So here's what I really liked about this match and what they executed, I thought, fairly well in the 15 minutes that they were live on the air. I felt that they did a rather decent job in trying to establish Liv Morgan as a future star, a future women's champion. I thought from those regards, they did good. They did good right here. The fans were really pretty vocal here that were in attendance. They really wanted them some Liv Morgan. It was really nice to hear the ovations and all that. And by the way, shout out to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, because he put out a tweet. I don't know if you guys had saw this, but he basically had talked about how he reached out to a lot of wrestlers during the pandemic, and something along the lines of, tell me one thing that I wonder if I might actually still have it on my screen here. If you can bear with me a second here. No, I don't have it anymore. But there was something along the lines where somehow all the WWE wrestlers that he ended up speaking with, like unanimously, everybody had said to him, they really appreciated and admired how much hard work and dedication Liv Morgan has put in herself, right? So she's made the investment in herself to do better, and that basically her hard work has been paying off and everything. And this main event match here tonight, she really did rise to the occasion. A little bit of rough spots here and there, especially towards the end of the match, but Becky Lynch went into this with every good intention that we're able to see at our ends as fans watching this match play out. She made Liv look damn good for damn good reason. Damn good. She made Liv Morgan look pretty good. And I couldn't be any prouder. Now you just got to continue to build off of this. And see, look at the fact that we had Becky Lynch cheat to retain her championship. She retains her freaking championship right after Becky had tried to go for a little manhandle slam there. Liv reverses it into a roll-up, but then Becky ends up reversing that roll-up, but she's grabbing onto the ropes. Ref doesn't see it from his respective vantage point, so he counts the 3, and Becky retains that way. So the fact that Becky won by crook here, right? And Liv Morgan, seeing how emotional she was, just how close she had came to, and no cigar. This isn't over yet. We can continue to build off of this. You got to continue to build off of the momentum here. So, look, whenever Money in the Bank is coming up, that's one option as far as Liv Morgan goes. Or we got Royal Rumble literally some weeks away. We got Royal Rumble. We can always go into that. Liv Morgan. I mean, why not? Why not Liv Morgan? Right? So it really depends, but WWE definitely needs to build off of this, and I can't sing the praises of Liv Morgan enough. As many of you guys know that checked out the show for a long time, I was pretty hard on Liv Morgan. Very hard on Liv Morgan. Right down to the point I even questioned, why was she even still on my TV? on a weekly basis. Besides looking cute, what is she really bringing to the table here? And I just felt that if there was anybody that was eventually going to get featured and endeavored, it would be somebody like Liv Morgan. And, it's really nice to see the rededication to the craft and everything, the whole 9 yards that she has put herself through to get to where she is today. She still has little ways to go, but, I tell you what, she's off to a damn good start. She's still just scratching at the surface, but she's off to a damn good start. So what's happening right now with Liv Morgan when it's all said and done? Like I said some weeks ago, they're doing the scenic route. I remember we even had one of our listeners in the chat. They vocally, hey, it's too soon for her to be getting this championship opportunity. They wanted for her to get a championship opportunity at day one. And I remember saying that could still happen. They could easily just do the scenic route. Don't be too surprised with day one just around the corner. Don't be too surprised if maybe some twist, some interesting development. Maybe Liv Morgan goes up to Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville. Hey, man, you saw what happened. How can we make this right? Yada, yada, yada. Don't be too surprised if maybe we might hear something along the lines of a no DQ match day one for the Raw Women's Championship between Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch. Becky somehow pulls through on that one, but WWE still continues to build on Liv Morgan and maybe have her go the route of winning the Women's Royal Rumble, punch in her ticket at WrestleMania, or wins the Money in the Bank briefcase and pretty much goes at it that way. Now that I'm thinking about it, there was one other development that came about tonight, too, that come into mind off the break. One, so Nikki Ash now has her own fucking bat symbol, basically. That was a hearty chuckle. Two, I'm trying to remember what was the match. But there was something involving Nikki Ash. I just remember her losing, and Rhea Ripley looked pretty pissed. Rhea Ripley looked like she was ready to just slug the hell out of Nikki Ash. And we got our one and only cameo from Jerry the King Lawler, because Raw tonight came to us from Memphis, Tennessee. And Lawler's backstage doing autographs. Some woman walks up and asks if she can get an autograph. Nikki Ash is thinking, oh, you're so sweet. And homegirl's like, no, I was talking to him, actually. And they show Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler says to Nikki Ash, tough break, kid. Hey, want an autograph? Maybe it'll cheer you up. And they both just walk away. And that was the only time we saw Jerry Lawler. Very weird. Just very weird. I'll tell you why that was weird, because we saw Vince McMahon with his latest pet project in Austin Theory yet again. And we got the impression that, okay, well, if he ain't going to slap him up this week, maybe he's going to put him in a match. Sure enough, he had a match. But then he didn't have a match. I guess because of time restraints or whatever, Austin Theory was not going to have a match tonight. So McMahon to Theory figured out a way to impress me. So I was under the impression, okay, well, Jerry Lawler just fucking did an autograph backstage. Maybe we could do something kind of cool where Austin Theory lays him out. But instead, right after Finn Balor got his little victory over T-Bar, Theory beat the holy crap out of Balor, did a selfie and all of that. So there's your next little instant Acme feud there. I would imagine we'll see that come about on next week's show. So nice little development right there. Boy, I tell you, Vince McMahon is really invested in this Austin Theory project right now. It's kind of a nice buzz combination words. Austin Theory project. He's really, this is his pet project. I mean, like, when you think about when was one of the last times we saw Vince McMahon really back a superstar like this. I mean, you've got to go I'm trying to think in more recent memory. Kevin Owens comes to mind, actually. I could have sworn something went down between Kevin Owens and Vince McMahon, or maybe Kevin Owens gave Vince McMahon, like, he just cold clocked his ass or gave him a devastating power bomb. I remember something going on with Vince and Kevin Owens and just going, damn. Because I remember doing the show that week just saying, no more, Vince, please. We don't need to see you in the ring taking bumps like that no more. Like, please, dude, we're done. I kind of feel like Kevin Owens. Let me know if I'm right. But it feels like the last time was actually Kevin Owens. And again, I mean, the last time Vince McMahon, was working side by side with a talent in a way, he was trying to help get them over. Like, I'm thinking Kevin Owens was the more recent one. But, for all intents and purposes, it really seems like he sees something special here in Austin Theory. And, look, the stuff I've seen of Austin Theory right before he came to the WWE, definitely a promising guy, definitely a promising athlete. I'm a little bit with the controversy that's surrounding him, though. I'm sure many of you guys know. A little sketchy there, right? I know there's he said, she said, and then the absolute truth, and then there's public opinion, so y'all gotta forgive me if I'm looking at him a little bit side-eyed, but for all intents and purposes, yeah, Vince McMahon, this is his latest project right now, so to be continued. Let's see here. Who do I think can replace Roman Reigns? You've got to be more specific as far as what? As far as who will beat Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship? Who will ultimately replace Roman Reigns when he retires from the WWE? Please, let's not get started on that whole Roman Reigns leaving WWE for Hollywood. Roman Reigns, for the love of God, has already pretty much let it be known that, eventually, when he's done with the wrestling, he would not mind pursuing pro wrestling. Look, we've got Roman Reigns for probably at least another consecutive 3 to 4 years tops. I'd be surprised if it was at 5. So for me, I'm not going to be wasting any energy, right? I'm dealing with the right here and the right now. The way things are looking with Roman Reigns and that Universal title there, I would not be surprised if, honestly, Brock Lesnar were to win the Royal Rumble. Roman, Lesnar, WrestleMania. Lesnar gets the title. Roman takes a little bit of a break. Maybe in the interim, Lesnar eventually drops the title. Who does Lesnar drop the title to? That's where it's a little bit sketchy for me, quite honestly. I don't know if maybe he loses it to Finn Balor. I just had the guy's name. I don't know if he loses it to Drew, and then Drew and Roman go at it, and then maybe Roman gets it off of Drew. I don't know if we're maybe going to kind of go in that equation, depending on what the hell is going on with Jeff Hardy, right? Knocking on wood. But the idea of Jeff Hardy, Brock Lesnar for the Universal title, I'm just saying, for me personally, you want to talk about one last hoorah, one nice little rub-off, I'm kind of looking at something like that. But just thinking of some of the recent stuff I've seen on SmackDown, as far as anybody else that maybe stands out to me in my mind that I could ultimately see in the picture there, besides those names I had mentioned. For what it's worth, Xavier Woods has been on one hell of a roll. He really has. If there's anybody that I'm looking at right now and saying, if I got to pick a dark horse, I'm eyeballing the hell out of Xavier Woods. He's really fucking stepped his game up. in 2021. Definitely in 2021, he's really stepped his in-ring game up big time. Really proud of the guy. Let's see. So hopefully that was the question. If that wasn't the question, you got to be more specific for me. Let's see, what else can we get into here on the show? We got some other little tidbits of news. How long have we been on the air, though? Not too bad. About an hour 39. That's not too bad. I got some AEW news. We can get into most of that stuff during Wednesday's show, actually. So I'm going to save that. I do see the Smackdown ratings for this Friday, though. Looks like they averaged the overnight audience of 1.966 million viewers. Not bad. That's based off the 2.36 million viewers for hour one, and then they did 1.895 million viewers for the second hour. So viewership, in case you kind of trying to figure that out, is actually down from the previous week's post-Thanksgiving episode, which had did 2.149 million viewers. So not too shabby. Not too shabby there. Scarlett Bordeaux recently did a interview, and I recommend you guys check it out. There's only one interview that she's done right now. She commented on managing versus wrestling. She also talked about being released by the WWE. Here's what she had to say in regards to being released by WWE. She said, and I quote, "So the night I got the call, we were together and Cross was actually dropping me off at the airport. My first reaction was pretty pissed because I was like, we're awesome. That's how I felt. We're awesome. We got all the boxes marked off. I'm confident in what we can do and what our worth is. But then I got really excited and confident. People compared the way I was typing on Twitter to a girl that had just been broken up with, like, I'm going to get super hot and successful and make you guys jealous. And I felt like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do everything I want to do now and everything I wasn't allowed to do. I got to do a magazine cover that's coming up. All these photo shoots and signings, and within 2 days, my entire December was booked. So it went from being pissed to excited, and not once did I cry. I thought that at least at one point I'd be really devastated, but that has not happened once. I've just gone from being pissed the first night to excited and happy. So good for her. Very, very, very good to hear that. So yeah, check that out. It was actually a pretty good interview. That she had did. Also, let's close out with this. Let's close out with two things. Number one, some news that had came about over the weekend definitely has me pretty sad, is the fact that WWE has decided, by all reports, seems pretty concrete. Shout out to PW Insider and Fightful, credit them for it. But it looks like WWE's DVD division is going to be no more come 2022. You heard me correctly. Pretty damn sad. I got to tell you, I have so many fond memories of collecting definitely wrestling DVDs, but just particularly the WWE DVDs. And as far as the reason why, it's honestly simple. It's because sales have been staggering. When you just look at the WWE DVD sales, you go back even as far as the Coliseum days, WWE Home Coliseum, when they were doing the stuff on VHS and all that. And then eventually the DVD division, that was like 99. That was like 1999. I mean, when you just go from the DVD division / introduction from 99 going all the way up to now, the sales have just freaking staggered big time. The times have changed. It literally goes back to something that me and the wife talked about passionately during our Awesome Con panel from this summer. And one of the things that we talked about was media consumption, as far as how we as a society are now engaging in consuming all things media, music, TV shows, sports, etc. And sadly, what has happened here with WWE and their staggering sales with their DVD divisions, the numbers are out there. You can see stuff in a year to year comparison. I mean, this really should be no surprise to the wrestling community, especially to the WWE hardcore fans. This really should be no surprise, because how many times have we been on this show over the years and we've talked about their quarter earnings and where all their money is pretty much coming from and everything. It's all about digital. That's what it's all about now. It is all about digital. If folks can't pretty much consume it through the web, through social media, it's kind of like, right? It's like, it bums me out. It does. It does bum me out, because there's no greater feeling in the world than to physically hold something in your hands, and go, man, I got a piece of history right here, right? I get to watch this over and over and over again. I get to relive some of my favorite moments. I get to, right? Especially just for the collector in you. I mean, who doesn't have their fun wrestling DVD story or WWE DVD story? I mean, for me personally, no better feeling in the world when I was in high school, and so that would be, let me think. So my junior and senior years in high school, and then my first year in college. Man, me and my friends, when we heard that there was a new WWE DVD getting ready to come out, and see, back in those times, for a handful of years, long time wrestling fans, especially WWE fans, know this. Every freaking Tuesday, like clockwork, there was always a new WWE DVD that was being released. You'd be watching Monday Night Raw, and the next thing you know, they go into a commercial break, and you're like, oh snap, the NWO story. Oh yeah, man, I'm getting that. Yo, I'm getting that. I gotta check that out. Yeah, that's what's up, right? You get that bad boy. Next thing you know, next week, Rob Van Dam. You're like, what? Right? And it was always a running gag. Every single week, you were just running to the nearest. And back then, before WWE started doing the whole exclusive deals with certain store outlets, back in the day, you could just either go to FYE, you could go to Target, you could go to Walmart, you could go to Tower Records, you could go to Sam Goody, or you could go to Suncoast. Guaranteed, whatever that new WWE DVD release was, you were going to be able to go right to them, and you were able to pick it up. You were able to pick it up with ease. And it was awesome, because no cooler feeling in the world was once you bought that WWE DVD. I don't know how it was for you guys, but anytime me and my friends, we ended up getting a WWE DVD on the street release date, it was like whichever one of us had got it first. But if we were interested in that DVD, it was kind of like, okay, so when you going to watch it? It's like, I wasn't going to watch it until, okay, all right, don't watch. Yo, I'm coming over. I want to watch it, right? And they have a nice little gathering around the TV, and, freaking put the bad boy on and be like, yeah, watch that joint, right? I mean, so many. And then the best cool thing was, school, obviously, but then even afterwards would just be, oh, did you get the blah, blah, blah? You did? Oh, yo, let me check that out. Have you checked this out yet? Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'll trade you. Like, used to love trading the DVDs, man. Seriously, I used to love trading the DVDs. Used to be a big fan of that. And it's sad because as the years progress and the media consumption has changed, and prices. You guys have no idea when you get down to how much does it cost to make these DVD covers, the artwork, put all that information on the disc, right? All of that costs, even if you have the money, excuse me, all of that costs. And at the end of the day, it's all about staying cash flow positive. It's all about that plus gain. And if you are barely breaking even or barely making any money at all, right? You've invested this amount, but your return back is so little, right? I mean, just picture that for yourself. Just close your eyes for a second and imagine yourselves as a DVD, company, distributor or whatever. Just pick your favorite genre, right? And you're like, okay, man, I'm telling you, we're going to make a killing off of, and you fill in the blank. And let's just say you invest $10,000 into mass production for DVDs of that topic that is going to be covered for your DVD. You spend like $10,000. Now, when it comes to you making the arrangements with the store outlets and all that, right? All right, you spent $10,000. But when it's all said and done, if you're only getting back $1,500, it's like that's not much of a return. And that's exactly what we've found to happen ultimately with the WWE DVD joints. And it's sad. I've got some fond DVDs that for me still are in my personal collection to this very day. I definitely, of my top favorites, I definitely love the CM Punk story. I'm surprised this go round with CM Punk back in AEW, back in professional wrestling. I'm surprised that DVD has not been revisited by many among the wrestling community. If you care to know what I thought about that CM Punk DVD, you happen to own it yourself, but you're just curious what I thought of it. If you actually go to my website, go to rcwrshow.com, and you should be able to type in there CM Punk DVD or something like that, and you should be able to come across my review. I'll definitely put up the link on social media later on Tuesday for you guys. But I remember wow, I went into that DVD. I wasn't really sure what to expect. And I came away just going, wow, they really loaded that up. They really loaded it up. I mean, from reaching out to ROH and a few other companies, I mean, they really went all out in telling the story of CM Punk. They went above and beyond for that man with that DVD. That was like one of the best, well-produced DVD biographies of a wrestler that WWE had put out there. As far as I was concerned, it still holds up to this current day and age. I personally feel. My second favorite, and this is no particular order. Like, I'm not saying CM Punk is number one. His DVD was number one. I'm just off the top of my head, just DVDs I found myself watching. Get a little bored, a little tired, need something to fall asleep to, or, just for walking down memory lane purposes. His DVD comes out to me off the break. Another DVD, I love the joint on AWA. I love the joint on the AWA. That one right there, because when I was growing up as a kid, AWA, that's what I was checking out with a passion, man. It was like one of my first fondest memories getting into the whole crazy world of professional wrestling, thanks in part to my grandma and my aunt. It was AWA and WWF. So AWA, very fond. So that was really good. The Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior is another one, because I remember vividly when that DVD came out, how big of an Ultimate Warrior fan I was and still am at this time, but back then, and how much of fans Warrior my friends were. And I think I was the very first to get the Ultimate Warrior DVD. I remember like me and my best friend, I believe we went to FYE to go get it. And I just remember like when we got home and we did a little watch party, we all laughed our asses off at that DVD. We shook our heads because we couldn't believe that WWE would release such a piece of shit of a deflammatory piece of material where it was basically just a fucking roast. It was just a 90-minute fucking compilation roasting the Ultimate Warrior. No, you know what? Roasting isn't even a fair word to use, because at least if you're roasting somebody, whoever the host or the hostess is, they're pretty much in on it and everything. No, this was a fucking burial. Let's call it for what it really was. This was a burial DVD of the Ultimate Warrior. So fucking bad was that DVD. It was just, it was like, what the fuck, right? It was like one man's personal agenda to use his company and everything at his disposal to bury the hell out of one man. It's like, wow, you've got this guy having that much real estate in your head that you've got to use all your financial resources and everything to put together a freaking DVD compilation burying the hell out of this guy. Yeah, that was just, of all the DVDs I've seen, that was just one of those. Why did they release this? Like, seriously, why? That was like the main question me and my friends kept asking ourselves when we were done watching it. We were like, why would they release this? Seriously. I'm trying to think. You know what? For what it was worth, I'm going a little bit more current, but Undertaker's Last Ride, just to be able to own that was, and to pat ourselves on the back, because if you checked out I think it was our 30 with Lee series, there was one episode, because me and the wifey were reviewing each episode of Undertaker Last Ride as they were coming out. And I think it was either by episode 2 or maybe 3. My wife made a bold prediction on that episode, because we pretty much were reacting to the episodes as they were being released. And I think by episode 2 or episode 3, my wife had the foresight to make a bold claim on that show. And she said, I think Undertaker's going to announce his retirement. I'm like, okay. She's like, no. You don't understand. I feel that the Undertaker is going to announce his retirement on this limited series. I feel it in my bones. Like, he's going to go out during this series. I'm like, and we got into a nice discussion about, well, why not do it, in public? And it was great. And then to see how it all played out at the end, but I thought his story was pretty good. Something that really doesn't get a lot of praise, which was a fantastic view. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. That was if you are a fan of all things Paul Heyman, that was fucking killer good. That was a killer fucking DVD. Obviously, the rise and fall of ECW. That was another good one as well. I mean, I wish I could show you guys my DVD collection right now, because I've got an entire first row of nothing but WWE DVDs and shoot DVDs, and that's just for starters. The rest of my DVDs are in the other room. The WrestleMania DVDs, right? I knew of friends that, like, every time WrestleMania rolled around, whatever revised box set that would keep coming out with the entire set up to that last year's WrestleMania, the current WrestleMania, they just constantly kept putting their money out there, getting those. It ain't what it used to be. It is not what it used to be with the way we're going about consuming our content now. Even our music. I mean, look, think about this. It's gotten to a point now where when it comes to our desktop computers, our laptop computers, all them bad boys, no disk drive. because we're able to access what we need to access digitally with some code, and we can pretty much watch it in iTunes or watch it through Amazon or whatever, even when it comes to reading materials and everything. So it sucks, and while everybody is talking about, oh, WWE is, something else that's coming to an end as well. I don't know how many of you guys are aware of this, but Rob Feinstein of R.I.P Video, he's now doing the whole signed by superstars. That's where he's pretty much putting all his bread and basket in now. He revealed last week that as far as future shoot DVDs, things of that nature, they are no longer going to be producing DVDs. He pretty much has found himself in the same ballpark. Now, this wasn't one of those monkey see, monkey do. His announcement was always forthcoming, and I think his was right before the news about WWE DVDs being no more. But he had said, look, buy up all the DVDs that you can right now from R.I.P Video, because January 1st, 2022, we're done. You're no longer going to be able to buy DVDs from me anymore. The way that we're going to go about our content now, it's all about streaming. It's all about digital access, right? So even companies like, I'm very curious to see where things are going to be going for the shoot, interview, DVD industry as a whole, because it really does cost. People have no idea, because I remember there was a time briefly where I had looked into the production of DVDs. This was early on in my podcasting career, but I had looked into the production of DVD little compilations of certain episodes of my podcast that I could have just ready to go, especially like if I did interviews, things of that nature. I was trying to do my own little audio DVD, kind of like a shoot interview type of thing. And I remember one of the first joints I was trying to look into was producing something of an interview I did with Gene Snitsky. And I was going to kind of essentially use that as somewhat of a launch pad for, audio shoot DVDs basically. And I remember how I was just looking into the whole cost of that just to even try to do something audio, like just minus the video. And even that was expensive for back then. So, there's a lot of, I'm very curious to see how the shoot DVD industry as a whole, the shoot interview industry as a whole is going to do. We see guys like, what's his name, that was doing You Shoot and kayfabe commentary, Sean Oliver. We see that he's pretty much, he's gone. Now the only thing that guy is pretty much doing once in a blue moon, he's writing books. That's pretty much it. We've seen pretty much the media consumption game. We've seen what it's done to guys like him and everything. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen in the coming year and beyond, as far as ways we go about our consumption of wrestling entertainment goes. Whether we like it or not, wrestlers that are doing their thing now with these virtual signings, have you guys done that yet? Have you participated in that yet? I know some of you guys don't know how that basically goes, but you see WWE is doing it more and more themselves. Basically, a virtual signing. Let's say WWE decides, okay, we are going to have a virtual meet and greet with Drew McIntyre. Give us $200. You'll get to meet with Drew McIntyre for 3 minutes. You'll talk with him. You'll get that video recording with the audio, of course. You'll get that recording sent to you, once the event is done. And Drew McIntyre will do an autograph. So Drew McIntyre will already have like a stack of photos, basically, right? And he's, hey, I'm just going to pick somebody in the chat. Hey, George. How you been, George? Oh, nice to meet you, lad. Oh, thank you for coming to meet me, man, so much. You see a lot of these wrestling promotions, they've been doing a lot more of these virtual meet and greets and all that. It's changing, man. It's changing, whether we like it or not. It's changing, and it's like we got to adapt to it. Kind of sucks, but So many fond memories, man. I'm sure you guys have your own little fun. So I'm curious what you all's fond memories are of the whole DVD hunting, collecting, and all that. You know, sometimes it used to be a little bit infuriating as the years had progressed and WWE had got the exclusive deals going on with just FYE or Walmart or whatever. And it was like, man, you try to go to one store. Nah, they weren't carrying that new release DVD from WWE. Then you had to zigzag to another store. Okay, it looks like these guys got it over here. Okay, yay. And all of that. And then sometimes if you bought the DVD that week, sometimes if you bought the DVD that respective week of the street release, you got like some bonus perks or whatever. Maybe you got like a hat, or like I remember when it came to the Bret Hart story. Remember that Bret Hart? Not the Bret Hart DVD joint. You know exactly the one I'm talking about, where when you first pop the disc in, Vince McMahon is the one that's pretty much doing the proper introduction to what you're about to watch. And he pretty much thanks Bret Hart's family, and all that other shit. That DVD I'm talking about. I remember when that had came out, and I think that was like a 3-disc set or something like that. A 3-disc or a 4-disc set. I remember the cover. Bret was on it. White background, pink, black, the Bret Hart colors. And I remember if you had got that at FYE, I believe it came with like a Bret Hart little hat or something like that. I can't quite remember. But yeah, it was pretty badass. It was pretty badass. You would usually be able to get little perks like that from ordering. Good times. So, programming note, we're going to be coming back with another show for you guys Tuesday night, December 7th. We'll be talking NWA Power Fallout. We're finally back with new episodes of NWA Power. So we're going to be dealing with the fallout from NWA Hard Times 2. Hopefully we'll get to learn a lot more about Matt Cardona, based off what happened from the Hard Times pay-per-view event and everything. So hopefully we'll get to see and hear him in these coming batch of shows they're going to be taping. So we'll have NWA Power Fallout, and then Wednesday, new RCWR show will be live after Dynamite. We'll talk Dynamite Fallout. NXT Fallout from Tuesday as well. NXT 2.0, that should be pretty good. I would imagine that Cora Jade as well as Tommaso Ciampa, they will probably make their declarations for they should be facing the respected champions that they pinned during War Games and a match for that respected championship. So it should be interesting to see how those waters get navigated this Tuesday. And so check it out. Should be pretty good. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads wherever you get your podcasts. We're all over the place. Just search the RCWR show. If you made it up to this point, welcome. Love to hear your thoughts. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button. It's free, and you really help spread the word, especially about content like this. You help push it out there in front more for YouTube as far as recommendations go. Feel free to subscribe as well and hit that bell so you don't miss out. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. To everybody that had joined me in live during the chat, y'all know who you are. Thank you so much for your interactions, for you lurkers joined in live. Appreciate you guys as always. So those are going to be checking this out on demand and on the downloads. Much love as always. And until next go around, wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I'll see you guys in a hot little bit. Y'all